button and we'll go for it. Hey, good afternoon. Another Duggystoneradio introducing, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. We'll bring him on the old screen now. There he is. So if you're listening on the station, you're probably expecting the motorbike show, but I've took it off. Not the motorbike show. DJ Motto. Anyway, how you doing, pal?
Yeah, not so bad, mate. Yourself?
Sound. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the show.
Our little show. Anyway, introduce yourself to everyone.
My name's Jack, and I'm the lead singer of Flechettes from Wigan.
Oh, Flechettes. Is that how you say it? I've been calling it say it again. How'd you say it?
Flechettes.
Flechettes. Which is a cartridge full of very sharp projectiles, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. That's right, yeah. That's where it came from.
I did my research. I was going to ask you today. I thought I'm going to see if it comes from something. So, what made you pick that as a name?
It started off when I was coming to the end of my first year at uni. I did War and Society at Manchester, and I'd been a solo artist for a long time, and it was getting to a point where the songs that we were writing, or at least the ones that I was writing at that time, needed to have a full band behind them.
Right.
So, with the help of a couple of friends who knew people who wanted to join, we got together, but we were struggling for a name. So, when I was doing my exams at the end of the first year, I was looking at history books about like the First World War and stuff, because that's what my sort of degree path was about. It was about warfare and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that, and it just sort of jumped out the page. And I thought, it'd be a good name for a group. It looked good on a poster as well, eye-catching and whatever.
Yeah. Well, it begs the question, doesn't it? It starts a conversation as well. I like it, mate. I like it. And, it makes us... See, you can also elaborate on that and say, because it was only me, I wanted to add some more razor-sharp ammunition into the cartridge.
True.
And I got the rest of the band in.
Like that,
there you go. You can have that. I can have that free from me. That's what you can next time someone says. Because it was me on my own, and I wanted something that was going to go through armoured vehicles. And I thought, let's add some more sharp implements into it. Leanne's on. She's a bit of a, I think she's, what do you call him, a MILF? She's saying, how old is Jack?
22.
He's 22. You keep your bloody hands on him, Leanne. Every time she comes on, oh, he's nice. Yeah. Oh, excellent. I love it. So what you got to tune to music then, man? What was the rationale behind that? A gilf. That's a granny, isn't it? Anyway, not that I know. What got you into music?
Well, sort of, I had a bit of a sporadic period with it. So, like, when I was about 11, 12, and everybody was, like, learning guitar. And that was what basically started us all off. We all wanted to learn guitar, and we all wanted to learn how to be able to, be in a group and whatever. And we did it for a couple of years, but then, like, you're not really switched on enough, or at least 95% of people aren't that switched on when they're like 12, 13, and they just pack in. That's what happened to us. And then when I went to college, I was about 16, 17. I think I was just about to be 17. All the lads that I've been to school with, we all went to the same college. We all went to the same sixth form.
Yeah.
We was writing songs and saying, we've got to do something with these, because, we thought they were, decent tunes for our age. So we put on, we sort of said, right, we'll do a practice and we'll see if how it sounds. So we got together, and then it just came about where we had this one lineup, and then that didn't work. And then I joined a band with a group of lads from one was from Ashton in Makerfield near Wigan, and then the other one was from Culcheth in Warrington.
Oh, cool.
And that went on for for a few months. I think that went on for about 6 months, and then that sort of fell apart. And then I went solo then, from being sort of 18 till I was about 19. But it felt well longer, it felt like a proper long time. Because when I started uni in Manchester, and I'd been going to Manchester, because when we're from Wigan, so I've been going to Manchester for 2-3 years just for watching gigs and stuff. So we all knew our way around, and we all knew, what venues were good and whatever. And
yeah.
And basically, when I went to uni there, I just played as many shows as I could solo, and I think I played at least like 100 or so shows in the first year that I was there. And that was all solo, so I was doing like 3-4 a week.
Wow.
And then what happened was, I got in touch with the lads who's in Flechettes now, and we formed that, and then immediately started booking sort of shows as fast as we could, wherever we could. So it was pretty, the transition from like solo to band was, I'd say it was quick, and we had to like make sure we had enough material and stuff. But as for getting into it, why did we get into like the band and stuff? It was a lot easier to get songs heard when there's a lot of noise behind them. You know, it's a lot easier to have a song played on the radio or whatever if there's a lot of like noise behind it and drums and stuff, and people are more likely to take to it.
Yeah. Cool. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now, because you've obviously bigged it all up, which is awesome. I've got 2 or 3 videos to play and probably a track or whatever. I think your latest track's not got a video, but we'll play that. All just for your benefit. Whilst the tracks are on, we won't be on screen. It'll be your video. Your video's going to be playing now, so whatever. Just so you're aware. So this one is called "Make Your Own Mistakes" from 2021. What's this about? Is there a story behind it, or?
With that one, the the bass player wrote that one because we all write songs and then we bring them in and then we critique them sort of between us 4. Yeah. And then usually I'll sing it. If it's somebody else's song, I'll usually sing it. And if it's then if stuff needs changing, like the melodies and stuff, then we can change it when we're rehearsing it. With this one, he came in. I think it was October 2021. In fact, it might have been before. I think we recorded it in August. He came in and said, "Yeah, I've got this song. It's a bit heavier, but I think it'll, it's a good vibe change for getting into the new stuff in 2022." So we all liked it because it's great fun to play as well as as much as we have rehearsing it. It was great fun to play it live. So what he did was he brought it in. We took it to the studio and then we had the lyric video made, and we made the footage with like sort of clips from when we was on the road and stuff last November. So that it's sort of a special track because it marked a sort of turning point towards the heavier rock influences that we've got. Excellent.
And I knew all that. No, I didn't. But that's great. I absolutely love it. Right, cue the VT. We'll be right back after this. Remember, if you're up, they're up. Turn it up.
I don't know where you go when you're downtime, so do what you want, but don't come crawling back home. Live your life, but don't relive my mistakes. Go with the wind, but live in the real world for just one day. Don't you think I know that you don't wanna wait?
Oh, that's not good, is it? It's buffering. It can't buffer.
I'm having to go and make your own mistakes. I tend to agree. I wish that I was more reserved, but I don't need to be. There's already enough. Let them go. Let them wind down the clock some more.
If that was too loud, people, you're too old. Awesome, Jack. Love it, man. Love it. You're right. Very rocky, that one, isn't it? All right, pack it in. That's enough. That's enough. It's enough. Hey, I like that. That's brilliant, mate. Big sound. Really big sound, that.
Yeah, that one, a lot of that, the sound that you hear in that and a lot of the mix that you get, it came from, we produced with Gareth Nuttall at the Lounge in Wigan. And he's like a top producer. He's like a bit of a hidden gem in a way. It's like he's so good for the level of production and the level of expertise that he's got around recording music and stuff. And we take sort of tracks to him, and we'll think we've got it worked out, you know. So we've been rehearsing it for 6 weeks or whatever, 7 weeks, and then we'll take it in, and he'll go, yeah, well, why don't you put this there and this there and this there, and then like he'll mess about with stuff in the mix, and he'll play it through like the Rocket 8 speakers or whatever, so you can hear everything, and he'll play it, and it'll just like none of us thought of that. You know what I mean? It's a level of expertise that we can only aspire to sort of have.
It's amazing if you get a good producer or a good master, you know, someone who does good mastering, and they can totally transform your track, can't they? It could be a brilliant track, and it's that little tweak, those little tweaks, sort of really can define it. And that is a brilliantly produced. The music's great, it's upbeat. Do you know what I mean? You could just put that in anywhere and have a good party, couldn't you? It's great. Love it, mate. You should be proud of your stuff that you produced. It's really good. It's really good. So you're on at Summerfest on Saturday, I think, aren't you? Is it Saturday you're on Summerfest?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm looking forward to that. I'll be pestering you around there because I'm there all weekend. You see,
you going? Oh yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm covering it all. I'll be there with my microphone. I'll be pestering bands on stage, after stage, before everything. I'm hoping if they can pull it off, I'm going to set a little studio up there, like a TV studio. That's one of my aims. And then I'm going to be roving round. So I'll see you there. You'll have to remind you to myself because I'll forget who you are.
Yeah, no problem, pal. No worries.
Oh, so Leanne's asked how you met, but we covered that before, didn't you? All met at college, didn't you? And then regrouped.
Well, we sort of we met specifically through mutual friends. So there's a band from Wigan called Stanley's who were doing really, really well at the minute.
Oh, yeah, I know them.
And they're great friends of ours. And basically how it worked was me and Will, the bass player, we've been in bands for going on 10 years together.
Yeah.
10 years this September. And, you know, the thing with Flechettes meeting was that Jake Dawsman, who plays guitar for Stanley's, was always sort of dead supportive to me when I was sort of solo. And he said to me, you know, you should get a band behind these songs. I said, well, you know, it's hard to find. I mean, guitarists are easy enough to find, but drummers and bass players, you know, the real. I mean, Will was a guitar player that sort of migrated to bass for this lineup,
right?
Which has certain benefits, but it was weird because I asked Jake, well, who do you know? And he said, well, Johnny Raper and Nicky Kitts will play. So then he asked them, and then he said, yeah, they'll do it. So I set this group chat up and said, yeah, we'll do it. And me and Johnny had sort of known each other for a bit anyway. We've been out together before with mutual friends, but we never sort of played together on our own.
Yeah.
So we did the first rehearsal. It was me and Johnny did the first rehearsal. And we just jammed about, see if it worked or whatever. And then Nicky and Will came later. And when we got in the room, I think we did covers first because we wanted to do, we wanted sort of 3 or 4 covers that we could get a crowd going with and then write our own songs. But when we first got in, the first ever four-piece rehearsal that we did, where all of us was there, I think the song that we did was, That's Where You're Wrong by Arctic Monkeys. You know, easy sort of 2-chord song we can just jump in with. And the first thing I said to Nicky when we was practicing and we finished the song, the first thing I said to him was, you're too good to not be in a group. And then from there, it was literally just, you have to have that time to sort of acclimatise in a band. That's probably something that most people, I'd say don't mention when they talk about being in a band. You have to have that time where if you don't know them at first, you acclimatise to each other, you know, and you found out first of all, you found out how to push each other's buttons, because that's just one thing that happens in a group. You just push each other's buttons all the time. Yeah. And that is true. And we, you know, we're all best mates, but we still push each other's buttons every day. And it's just how things are. But you've got to have that that playability together. And it's been, it's 3 years this time. It's 3 years this June. We've been together. I've loved, don't get me wrong, there's been ups and downs and stuff with stuff that, that admin and like COVID and that, when that came along. But, things happen for a reason. And I think that, I think we've not yet reached that level where we're writing our best songs. We always want to improve. That's the thing I'm trying to say. We're always wanting to improve.
Yeah.
And we always want to write better songs, and we always want to be better live, and we always want to be better in the studio. So we're always striving to sort of reach sort of newer arts all the time. We always want to be improving. And 3 years in, so to speak, it's like you want to be ideally somewhere along the line towards that now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and well, listen to what you're doing. I get what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with your early stuff, and there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It's experience and building on. If I look back at some of the shows that I did 4 years ago, or some of the things we put out 4 years ago, I'll be like, "Oh, Mum, what's this?" But at the time, that was the best. You only get to that point through the experience and making the mistakes. So doing the things wrong, and you're right about any team, not just a band. I think people miss. It's all right if you've got someone who's, I don't know, you could be setting up a company and you need an IT person. If that person doesn't fit into the culture or that team, they could be the best program in the world. Do you know what I mean? And that you're going to fall out. It's not going to work. So you need to find people that are opposite but compatible as well, don't you? You need a different dynamics in your group, in your team, because you're going to spend a lot of time together, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. Sure. I mean, it's like when we've been, we've been sort of, we've done overnight sort of places, where we've been, we've had to like stay over and stuff, and those kind of experiences are ones where you find out sort of about who you're with. So like we've done dates where we've stayed over in Sheffield, we've stayed over in London, or we've stayed over wherever. And at the Isle of Wight and things like that, and you do the music. So for Isle of Wight, for example, we went down on the Friday. We watched Liam Gallagher on Friday night, and then we were playing Saturday afternoon. So all Friday night, it was very much just with four lads at a festival. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. As opposed from being musicians, it was just being four lads at a festival. Yeah. And that kind of thing. It's nice to have that because it's a nice contrast to the sort of business end of stuff where you're doing. You sat down looking at music and stuff. And what you said about dynamics is true as well, because like where I sort of lack in musical expertise, sort of Johnny is very, very technically sort of gifted, and as well as with the compositional stuff as well. He knows his theory and stuff, and I know bits, but I don't know as much as him. But he doesn't do. I do all the socials and stuff, so he doesn't do that. So like I say, you've got to have that sort of interchangeability in certain circles and stuff.
No good if you're music expert and no one wants to do social media, or if you're all, I'll do all the social media. No one, you know what I mean? You do need that balance, and that's how it works in any team. Sometimes you put teams together, because that's what you need in a team. So, and you're right, you need a band you need to be mates, best mates, because. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? I'll just pitch up and do a couple of hours on stage and then arguing again when you get back in the van. And that leads me on to a question that Eddie King always asks every time. It's the worst question in the world, but I'll ask it you. If you've got a tour van, what kind of tour van have you got? Have you got a tour van? Is the question really?
No, we haven't. No, we basically do it in. My dad has like a Nissan Qashqai, so when you put the seats down, you can fit loads of gear in.
Right.
Nicky's dad has a Land Rover. Again, you can fit loads of gear in.
Yeah.
And Will has the Flechette mobile, which is like a Hyundai. I'm not sure what it is. Dead small sort of car. And basically, I don't know how. It's amazing because I don't understand how it fits all the gear in it.
Like a TARDIS, is it?
Literally, he'll open it, and it's just like a mass of stuff. You can't fit anything else in.
Yeah, just about getting yourself in.
And he can just about get in, yeah. And it's like we've been down to the Isle of Wight in that. We've been down to London in that. We've been down, we've been to Sheffield and everything in that. And it's like he's on about getting a van primarily for.
So he can put his car in the back of it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. he's on about getting a van for stuff, which it'd be sad to see, the back end of the Flechette mobile.
Tow it to the gig.
Yeah, could do, yeah.
With all your gear, all your bags in.
I would say it's a tent with wheels.
Unbelievable. Yeah, because it would be more cost effective in one vehicle because you're travelling in 3 vehicles. That's 3 lots of fuel, isn't it? So it's there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're right. I've got a Land Rover, I've got a Freelander, and it's an absolute monster of a car. I do everything in it. Fill it full of rubbish and go to the tip off, fill it full of gear. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Have we got any more questions coming up? Here we go. So the Summerfest then? What did you think when you got the shout for that then? Tony ringing you. Oi boys, Summerfest.
Yeah, it was good that because we was in. I was actually at work at the time, and I remember the guy Tony had sent me an email. Excuse me, and he said, we're putting on this festival. Would you like to do it? And we said, yeah. First thing we always want to be doing stuff, so we just said, yeah, we'd love to. And then obviously there was a bit of it was moving from one venue to another and stuff, and they asked, are we still on for it? And we said, yeah. And then when the actual full poster got announced, and it had like us and Alex and Stanley's and whatever, and River, all from Wigan and whatever, and they had sort of like Human League, Boy George, stuff like that. It was like, wow, it's like it was a real, it's going to be a real experience to do it, and we can't wait. It's going to be the first festival of us for the year, and one that we're dead excited about. I think as well, it's going to be nice to have, like I say, it's going to have a real good sort of feel about it, with it being sort of the first one of the year. Yeah. We're all dead excited for it, and it's just counting down the days now. So we've got a period of time now between now and Summerfest. I don't think we're playing any show. I think we might have a last minute one that we're doing sort of the week before, maybe a couple of weeks before. But that's the next sort of big job. So we're mainly just now intensely sort of writing new music to sort of fit in the sets, and that's mainly what we're focusing on at the minute. Cool. So it's kicked us into gear as well, looking at all them big names on the poster. You think, right, you got to impress. So we're definitely aware of that, and moving towards making more music so we can hopefully impress on the day.
I'm sure you will, mate. Be positive, you will. What the next track, because we're going to go to a video again now. This is from 2020. So the one we just played was obviously when you had the turning point going into rock. This one's called In the Mood. Is there a story behind this, or is it what's? Yeah,
that was the first ever. That wasn't the first song that we wrote together, but it was the first one that we put out. So that came out in, I think it was the 31st of January 2020, because it came out the same day as Blossom's album Foolish Love in Spaces. And when it came out, funnily enough, it was weird that, because we'd put it out, and then literally a couple of weeks later, I remember the first sort of COVID headline being on the news. Not that anyone paid attention to it then, but it was on the news, and it was, didn't realise the precursor was, about what was going to, lockdown and that. So it was weird that I don't really, I've never really thought about how sort of short time that was between putting that out and then the last gig we played prior to lockdown was the 7th of March 2020 at Atma in Manchester for This Feeling, and we played In the Mood that night, so I always associate that song with that gig. But the actual song, Johnny wrote that, the lead guitarist, he wrote that. He came in and said, I think it was must have been August 2019, we just started, and he came in and said, I've got this song. So we did that. So like I say, it's dead fond memories, but I always associate it with that last gig now, so it's always a bit, but I haven't heard it for a long time, so it's one of the things where you're going
to hear it now, mate. It's a good one. Here we go. Cue the VT. We'll be right back, people. Oh, yeah. Right, just joined us. We're doing an interview. One of our introducings from a Wigan-based band.
Are you aged?
Hey, pack it in. No, I'm not having that because they're not sponsoring us, so I'm not playing their advert. Anyway, I'm going to bring Jack back on stream. We have got another question for her. Yeah, that's totally different to the other track in it. Totally different.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think as well. Like at the end, when I was just listening to it then. Like I said, I hadn't listened to it for a long time. So when I heard that solo at the end that that Johnny was doing, the lead bit, I was thinking it really shook because he is a very, very talented guitarist as well as a very, very talented sort of composer when it comes to stuff like that. So it's weird that he's still retained that sort of that niche for making. Things that I'd never think of, the notes and stuff and the way that he's arranged it. I would have never thought of that, just because I don't have the technical sort of ability that he's got, and that is very much different to sort of where we're going musically now. And sometimes we get asked. It's not in the set anymore. We don't play it anymore. But we get asked to play it sometimes, and it's one of them things. It's so different to what we've been writing recently that it sort of, to me at least, listening back to it there, it's so weird, to hear that contrast now.
Yeah, it's totally right. It's good to review it. It's good for me. It's good to see the diversity of a band and also where they've come from, where they're going, what they've been doing. So I think it's good to go back as a reference point. Go, they listened. That's what they were sounding like. They now sound like that. We've had some bands on that said they were playing one genre of music, and then when they went out, they were putting a different genre of music on when they were partying as friends, and they were like, hang on a minute, we do this over here. And we're doing something totally different over here. Why don't we do that bit over here as well? Because that's what we like. And so, you've been going 3 or 4 years. You're going to find that vibe, aren't you? You're going to find the level of, do we like to play that? What works? What doesn't work? And that's what you do in a minute. So, it's great. We have got a question for you here. It's from our French contributor. I'm going to say the name wrong, but it looks like it's Seanable. I've no idea. It says, what would success look like? So what would success look like for you if when you get there? What is it?
I can't speak for us all, but I would say that for me personally, success would be not just doing commercially well, because that is like a prerequisite for what I would term success. Doing well enough that you can do music at the level that say like the Lathams are doing, and they're friends of ours as well. That the Lathams are doing, or like the Skinner brothers are doing.
Wow, yeah,
and things like that, and reaching that point where you're selling out venues, you're selling out tours, you're being asked by big acts to come and do opening slots. So like the Lathams are doing a tour, Europe tour with the Killers.
Wow.
And that's going to be mega. Just come back from America as well. So that would be up there. That would be like, say, getting asked to go around Europe with whoever would be great. Doing that kind of stuff, but also knowing that you've got a modicum of success enough where you have enough time to really write songs. You've got enough time to sit down and not worry about other pressures in your life. You've got enough time to sit down, make sure this is right, make sure this is where it needs to be. Take it to the studio, get it mastered and everything, listen to it. Yeah, that's ready to go. And then as soon as you put it out, you've got people like BBC One or whatever saying, can we play this, or can we do this, can we do that? Once you've reached that level of people then asking you, can they do it, rather than you sending it and saying, would you play this? I think that's when you've turned a corner then.
That's a bit...
And I think that getting to that point is tough. It's tough. It's not impossible. It's tough. But I think that success for me would be, I always say like my ultimate gig to play. There's actually two. I'd love to play at the Ritz in Manchester. That's been a bucket list venue for me for years. And I'd love to play at Castlefield Ball as well.
Right. Wow. Wow. That's that's a really good, comprehensive answer. I like that, man. That's really. You're right. I know what you're saying. I totally get it, because you mentioned a band there, the Skinner Brothers, who I think are just insane in what they're doing. They're just. If they don't totally break through and punch through that ceiling, because it's a tough gig, there's something wrong. Because, and I'm not saying any other artists we've got, but they're doing everything right, aren't they? They're selling
great.
gigs out. That they put a gig on, and it's like, we're sold out, guys, we're sold out, and they're all over the social media. They've got a bit of the back, behind the scenes stuff going on, and they're brilliant. And that's why I want to do these, because there's loads of artists out there very similar, doing something. Doing the same thing as good quality music, entertaining, and that's what you want. The lads, aren't they? They're proper rock and roll.
Yeah. That's what's like the debut album came out. I think a couple of months back, and I got my ears around it, and I was listening to it. And my favourite track off that is "Culture Non-Stop," and I love that song. I think it's great. It proper captures like all the the proper sort of rock and roll sort of spirit. That they've got in droves, I mean, they did the tour, and the tour was virtually sold out. I think it was sold out. I think the whole thing sold out.
Yeah.
And I tried to get a ticket to the Liverpool show, and I couldn't get one. It was just like, they're such a passionate band, and that's half of the thing with any band, is you've got to be passionate about what you're doing. Because it's in a way it's hard. I was actually talking to Will about this the other day as well. It's like, because I'm running the socials, and I sort of I have a part-time job as well. 'Cause I'm still at uni. So I'm doing a master's now, so I'm sort of still at uni. It's like, because you have to be so analytical in your uni work and other stuff, it's hard to find time sometimes to be creative, and it's hard to find time to sort of consolidate that creativeness when you get a chance to do it. And when I finish uni, I feel like, because I'll be working until we hopefully reach a point where you don't have to do that, and that's the goal. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to do well, and everybody wants to do it for a career. So hopefully if we reach that point where you don't have to, work anymore, and you get that sort of break, I feel like I'll be a lot more creative then, because there won't be any other constraints, and you can just be completely 100% passionate about it.
Yeah, because you've only got your brain's only got so much capacity, and you do get tired from studying, and you're right, it'll just sap you. So what you doing your masters in?
International relations.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, what job do you want to do? But you want to be in a band, so that's a bit of a
yeah. The proper other ends of the coin. You know what I mean? It's like when I'm in the rehearsal room and we're writing songs and stuff, and a lot of the time now I spend, when I'm doing songwriting, as much as I get a chance to do it, I sort of do. I get like song titles first sometimes. So I'll like get an idea for a song title, and I'll write that down, and then I might get 20 minutes one day, and I'll look at that song title, and then I'll just blast out some lyrics for it. And it could take me sort of, sometimes before I've done that, it's 2-3 months to get the right sort of guitar parts, Other times I have sort of song that, twanging along, and I found something that I like and it fits and whatever, and then I'll write a set of lyrics around that, and they can take, anywhere from sometimes, like we did a B-side called Solitude. That song took sort of 10 minutes, but then we have other songs like Chasing Youth, which took a couple of months. So it's definitely like contrasting things, because like I said, when you're doing your uni work and everything, you have to, especially at sort of master's level, you have to be so precise and analytical, that it can actually affect your creative sort of process. I found that when I was in lockdown the first time, I was in my second year of undergrad then, and I was trying to write songs at the same time as doing like my coursework from home in that first sort of lockdown era, and I was finding it really, really hard to write songs, because I had to be so like on it all the time. And I just said, right, I'm not gonna force any songs out. I'm not gonna try, because the thing is, you try and you get frustrated and you don't want to do it. It's just cognitive dissonance for stuff like that. So I just thought, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna force it. We'll just see what happens. So I cranked all the Unilook out, got that out of the way, and then it came to it where I had all summer then, you know, between going back to uni and stuff. So I thought I can relax now. You know, I was in the garden. You know, it was sunny and everybody. You know, pretty much in that first lockdown here, everyone just had a few beers outside. You know, for about 2 months or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
I was sat outside and I was just twanging along. And the B-side for Chasing Youth, Swallow Dance, sort of just came out of that. In fact, Man of the Hour came out of that as well. Because I mentioned that I had the chords. I might have the chords first. And I got the chords for sort of 3 or 4 months. And I hadn't had time at all. I had the chords pretty much December 2019, but I hadn't had time to sit down and properly sort it out. So then when it got to sort of June 2020, and we're all still locked up, you know, we're all still in COVID, I remember I was going through the voice notes on my phone because I was recording just so I've got them, you know, so I can do it whenever. And I played them back, and I've been listening to, you know, Favourite Was Nightmare by Arctic Monkeys, the album.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that, and I love that album. It's one of my favourites of theirs. It's not, I think my favourite's Suck It and See, but I was listening to Favourite Was Nightmare at the time. And I got into sort of this House of the Circus and the way the lyrics flow in that. And If You Were There, Beware and stuff like that. And I got these lyrics fitted to the chords I had for Man of the Hour, and then that was it. And I had the song. And that was really easy to put together, but it was getting to that point where you can put it together. Yeah. And when I took it to the boys and showed them, they all sort of like, yeah, it's good that, let's do it. And then, yeah, it was good. You know, it was nice as well when we were finally able to rehearse again, that we could get in and do it. It felt like a big weight off, because you was just waiting to get all these songs and ideas and stuff. You're just waiting to get back in and put them together. Yeah. So that was the one memory I have of lockdown, is that once I'd finished uni for that year, and it was then time, you got your own time all summer. The first thing that I did was just write as many songs as I could, because I couldn't do it when I was trying to write, you know, essays and stuff. Yeah. It's hard, and that was something that it was a weird period of time, but I fondly remember it because it was like, it's so much ideas, you know.
Excellent, man. No, you're right. I've done a master's myself in my 40s, and it's not an easy thing to do at all. So, yeah, you have to. It absorbs all your energy and all your focus. And I think in life, a lot of people get frustrated when they're entrepreneurs. So if you look at entrepreneurs and they're trying to grow a business, or they're doing something else, they get frustrated when they're doing stuff over here and they want to be doing the entrepreneurial stuff. When they're doing entrepreneurial, there's other stuff they have to do. So it's fine. You're probably right doing that. If that works for you, it's focusing on one thing and saying, right, I'm going to do this for the next week, and then I'm having a week off, and I'm going to focus on that for a week, or whatever it is. And I think you'll find your head. But once you finish your studies, it'll be a lot better, and we wish you every luck with that. I'll tell you what we'll do, because we're zooming by. I'm going to play your latest track, but we've not got a video for that, so I'll take it. Well, I could leave it on the screen if we want, but I'll. This is called Carry Your Matches.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an exclusive here. The video is coming out on Friday, but we're announcing it tonight. So,
see, you could have given us today. What are you doing, man? We could have played it on the show.
It's got to be New Music Friday. It's all about the algorithm.
I know, mate. It is. Well, Eddie does a new music show on a Friday. I do New Music Tuesday. I don't follow any algorithms. I just do my own stuff, and then I get frustrated with it all. So the video for this is coming out on Friday, then.
Yeah, it's coming out Friday. Our videographer and photographer and agony aunt, Louise Andrews, who's our sort of big sister to the band.
Excellent.
She recorded and put it all together. She actually sorted it all out, because we'd have been hopeless. We didn't know what we were doing. I used to go to sort of drama school and acting, and I did a sort of an A-level equivalent in that. And that, for me, it was great to get back doing that, because that's another thing I've not had time to do as well. I've not had time to do as much acting as I wanted to do.
Wow.
And that was great to get back in. But as for the admin side of sorting it all out, getting an actor to come and star in it, getting a treatment out and everything, she was great for that. And she's been a vital part to sort of the band over the last sort of year or so that we've been working together. And she had the idea, she did the storyboard, she did everything. She filmed it, edited it together. And on Friday, hopefully everybody will see it's a testament to her work ethic,
Right.
how well she's done with that.
Tag us on the station on Twitter or somewhere, and we'll obviously go on. We'll go and grab that and give that a look. So we're going to play. This is called Carry Your Matches. There you go. Turn it up, people. Turn it up. Woo! Oh boy, we like that a lot. That's awesome, man. Just let me stop. I'll bring you back on screen. Like that, Jack. Definitely like that. Cool track.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. It's definitely one of my favourites. It was the last track that I actually wrote in Manchester when I lived there for university. It was the last one that I wrote in that flat that I lived in. So that was it's a special one for me.
I like that.
And people enjoy it live as well. I think it's that water, people seem to like that.
Yeah, there's bits in it that I don't know how to describe it, but it almost sounds like a western. There's that twang in it. It's like a western, you know what I mean? Like an old.
I'm glad you mentioned that as well, because you're the first person that said that, and I was dead inspired when I was writing that song. The Last Shadow Puppets.
Yeah,
I was dead inspired by them writing that song. And if in what's that song called now? Age of the Understatement. It's it's going like starting off. I always imagine like somebody like barreling along a desert on an horse.
Yeah, that's exactly what. I'm no musician. I can't play music, can't sing, can't do anything. But I can pick up stuff, and that really had that. It's like, it'd be. You could have this in a western. You could have this play. Like sometimes they always play old music, but they sometimes put new tracks on. That'd be. So anyone out there who's producing a western, get this track on it. And when they're coming out, they're getting the guns, they're getting the horses, get that on, and they're running. You'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? That'd be a good introduction to a film. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
We'd love to do a live version. Wearing cowboy hats and like slacks. We'd love to do it.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I think as well, like you say,
with
that western sort of sort of ethos in it.
Yeah.
It now that you mention it, I hadn't actually sort of thought of that, but now that you mention it, I do see where you're coming from.
Now, I'd be saying that should be the video. That would be the video of you lot getting on horses and then when it looks round like as if you're on but you're in Wigan at the end.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
that would have been
sign
good.
the horses up outside a bar in Wigan. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Going in
outside the pie shop,
going in and getting a Wigan kebab. And awesome, just finishing off there. Oh, we're on it. We're on it. I can't play, but Leanne said you're awesome at air drums. I know I'm good at air drums. I'm the best air drummer ever. And there's a couple of things I need to ask you to do before we're all right. We've got 10 minutes left, but we've been asking artists to do artist drops. So if you could do one of them for us, and we'll put them on the station, you see, or when we're on the shows. So if you can say this is I'll say it wrong again. Flechettes, whatever you say it. You're listening to Duggystoneradio. That'd be awesome if you could do that.
Do it now.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say with it?
Introduce the band name and then say you're listening to Duggystoneradio.
All right, yeah, no problem. My name's Jack from Flechettes. You're listening to Duggystoneradio.
Perfect. Eddie will get on that and it'll be turn it into a jinglet for us. A jinglet. Another question I forgot to ask you, and this is a bit back because we asked you what success would look like. But when people become, I've thought about this a few times, when bands become really successful, you get some of them, they can become real divas, don't they? They order oysters and they've got to be pink roses in the room. They never even touch it. They just order the shit just to be pain in the ass. So if you could have anything as a wacky rider at Summerfest, what would it be? Wackiest thing, whatever you want.
Don't even have to think about it. It has to be either an endless supply of pickled onion monster munch because they're my favourite crisp, or it has to be pickled onion space raiders. And then I want they don't make it anymore because they had the thing with the sugar tax a few years ago with it, where Lucas had changed its flavours, which I've still not got over, to be honest. But they had the thing a few years ago where you got Lucasade cherry in a black bottle. And it was like mega, it was like sweet, proper, like nectar. And they don't make that anymore because sugar tax basically made GlaxoSmithKline sort of change the recipe. It's amazing how much I know about that because it's a really sad thing to know about. But it's true. I mean, I've got a bottle of cherry Lucasade here that it doesn't taste anywhere near the same as it used to. I hope I don't get
But what we could do, this is the most wackiest riders ever. We could actually get them for one-off to make a batch of the special sauce for
the old style.
Yeah, for you, and that's your rider at every gig. And there'll be a warehouse. There'll be a warehouse somewhere where it just has your palette of can't be sold, not for public sale, and it may even have the band's logo on it. How cool would that be?
That'd be amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I showed the bottle on stream there. I hope I don't get some kind of lawsuit through the door. But
don't worry about that. Sodom. Hey, mate, I'm waiting for something like that to happen because imagine the publicity on the back of it. I've done some stuff in the past, but don't do that. They might sue you. And bloody great.
And I mean that was the thing. And like I said, pickle onion monster lunch, God's crisp. So it's got to be.
They are superb. They just stick to your mouth though, don't they? You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. You wash it down with the Lucasade.
They get in your mouth.
Sweet flavour.
I'm going to have to try that. I like that. Rolling Stones or Stone.
Oh, I've just remembered something else. No Rada would be complete if it was like the Rada.
Yeah. Go on, you're going for it.
It's got to have an extra large meat and potato pie from the Muffin Man on Beach Hill Lane near my house.
Well,
it's got to have the best.
Right. Well, if you could do us a favour, well, I'm going to try and write down now, but send that to Janice for us or send it to us because one of my all-time favourites is a meat potato pie. People just don't understand what a meat potato, and we used to call them slappies, but we call them a Wigan kebab. And I need to find somewhere, and I'm going to go actually and get one from there, and I'll do a video outside and try it, see what it's like.
I'll come with you. I'll show you it.
Let's do that. That'd be awesome. I love it. Because my lad ages ago, he born in Yorkshire and grew up in Nuneaton where we live now, and he was having a pie. And he went, "What would you have with this, Dad?" I went, "A barm cake or 2 slices of bread." He said, "Well, what would you do with that?" You wouldn't put it on it, one. Yeah, of course you would.
I'm glad you call it a barm cake, though.
Barm cake. None of this rolls or cobs or, you know what I mean? Might have a barm cake.
It's just complete heathenry, that calling it anything.
I don't
know what they call it.
Hey, we're gonna.
Pound cake. You're in the north. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, I'm from Salford, so I grew up on it. I grew up on it.
Ah, well, so you're only from the next borough over to me then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Eccles. I grew up. Patrick Croft in Eccles, so class at Salford when he took us over, ruined it. But there you go. So definitely, we'll have to set up. I will come up when I come up. We'll have to go to the pie shop. You have to take me to the pie shop. We'll do a video. We'll do a live stream.
Not a problem. Consider it done. Consider it done.
Bam. A balm cake is a balm cake. Yeah, it is. Oh, someone's asked a question here. Rolling Stones or Stone Roses? I think I know what he's going to answer, but there you go.
Rolling Stones, 100%.
Rolling Stones, there you go. Yeah. Oh, it's, have we got any other questions on here? I've really enjoyed talking to you, man. That's why I like doing these, because it's all right listening to banging tracks and going, this is a band from wherever, or this is what they're really doing. But actually talking to you, I've got to know you, and hopefully people out there get to know you, and we'll discover more as well. Yeah. Oh, he's putting in Chablis or Champagne. Yeah, I go for the champers myself. What have we got? Dan, because you're a bit of a food connoisseur, Dan from the Reggae Show asks this quite after Froley's question. He says, king-size pot noodle comes with a normal size chassis. I can't even say it. Should it come with a larger packet of sauce? Are you quite adequate with the amount of sausage you get?
It depends which, because I only really like the curry flavour pot noodle and the Bombay Bad Boy. So I've never, and they don't really do them in
king size.
But then the same logic. I've always said this, the same logic applies. So, when you buy a can of Pepsi in like a 330ml can.
Yeah.
What's that? 0.33 centilitre.
Yeah.
This should be if continental. So you're buying it like, well, how come they don't make Pepsi in 500ml cans? Do you know what I mean? In a larger size can, why don't they make Pepsi? They make more money because more people are buying.
Good question. So we've got
same thing, same logic.
We've got a couple of companies to have a go at. One for the sugar tax and ruining Jack's experience with his Monster Munch, and yeah, we've got that as well. And yeah, but you're right though. You're right, because they make it like a beer size, don't they? Don't make a big one, do they? So
it'd be great if they made a big one, But then again, though, sugar tax would probably apply to that and ruin it as well.
Oh, it's mental, and it's sugar tax. Everything's got bloody sugar in it, and yeah, it's I don't know. People will just do what they want to do, won't they? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit crazy, really. There's more stuff going on in the world, isn't it, without a bit of a sugar in. Just have stuff if you want to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. So, are you looking forward to seeing when you get to some? Because obviously the band will all want to, you're doing your gig. But are you looking forward to on that day?
Definitely looking forward to seeing Boy George.
Yeah.
And Culture Club.
Classic.
Definitely looking forward to seeing a few of our mates playing. Definitely looking forward to seeing them. I think I'm going down on the Friday as well to watch a couple of mates of mine who are playing on the Friday, and I think I'm trying to get down there for Human League, for Lamel, for Matt Hoy. So there's a whole range of people that I'm interested in watching. I think it's going to be a really great experience, and we just we can't wait to play the new stuff as well as be part of the festival. So we're hoping that the weather's clement, because that's saying that we're in Northern England, so
I know. Imagine if it peasy down all weekend. Be all right. I want it to be like it is today. You know what I mean? Walking around in a t-shirt and a pair of whatever. Won't put my shorts on. Won't subject anyone to that. But yeah, hopefully it is. Yeah, that'll be a bit of a. I'd scupper it, wouldn't it, if we have the rain? But we'd still enjoy it. People will still enjoy it. People will still party, won't they? They'll still have a good time. And you're local, so it's not so bad, is it? Not a million miles away from it.
It'll be all right. So we're up the road. So, hopefully like I say, it's clement weather and everybody has a good time in it, and it runs smooth and all the rest of it. And it provides that big festival experience, and we go away from it a sort of more rounded band than when we went in. That's all you can ask for.
Excellent.
So that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, looking, you enjoy it. You're going to be great, and thanks for coming on the show. Really looking forward to meeting you, and we definitely have to sort that pie visit out, because that's like one of my things that I definitely have that on my rider. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you get on with your day, and I'm going to wrap the show up, and I'm going to play out with Man of the Hour.
No problem, mate. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute star. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in May at Summerfest, man.
No problem, you too, mate. See you later.
Turn out, people. Awesome.
He's got the walk and the talk and every day stuck up his sleeve. He's fine on his own, but in a pack he's the meanest machine.
Woo!
I'm watching eagle-eyed, counting how many people he's tried. His look never does turn sour, he's the man of the hour. He's looking over at her, sharpening the stinger and pretending his fear has all been rescinded. And glistening my teeth in an outlook so bleak, he's the man of the hour.
How good was he? Monster Munch.
They'll be hunting tonight, they can taste the fresh blood in the air. The time to cut your wings off, such a shameful affair. They're only salivating at the chance of the kill. How they wish that they'd waited, now that they've lost the thrill. He's looking over at her, sharpening the stinger and pretending his fear has all been rescinded. And gritting my teeth in an outlook so bleak, he's the man of the hour. He's looking over at her, sharpening the stinger and pretending his fear has all been rescinded. And gritting my teeth in an outlook so bleak, he's the man of the hour.
How cool is he? And this has obviously been recorded for Duggystone Radio, Duggystone Radio's introducing series, where we're getting these bands that we know you should know. Dead easy to play the same old crap, get the same old people on and do the same old stuff, and we're not about that. If you enjoy this, come over to the station, Duggystoneradio.com, just say Alexa Open Internet Radio, download the apps. I do a show Tuesday to Friday, 8 till 10 a.m, live on Mixcloud and on the station, and on a Thursday we have a show called Dougie's Atomic Dustbin, and on that one we have Dougie Stones introducing minis. So it's the bands that have probably might only have a couple of tracks out or not got any video or whatever, who really are in the early stages moving up. We bring them on for 10 or 15 minutes, have a chat with them, and that's what we do. Thanks very much for everybody that's commented. Watch this, and if you're watching on a rerun, please subscribe, come over to the station, because we believe this is worth doing and we need your support to do it. So until next time, I'm out of here, people. I'm out of here.